Join Leroy Hansen, also known as Ledev. And one of the exciting things that happened this weekend is for people who play the format Modern, the new Modern Horizon set came out. So, pretty much for people who played internal formats and such, it's a pretty cool new set. I drafted it a few times recently, and I think the set itself overall has some fun tools for people who do play the internal formats. Plus, also being kind of dumbfoundedly surprised how playable Hogak, I always get the name of that one wrong, is actually a bomb in Modern. So, besides that, there's just a variety of tools. But since mostly my format is standard, I was trying to figure out a way how to celebrate that kind of peculiar occasion before we get into the core set hype and such, which I'll get a video later talking about a few of the spoilers that got revealed during this week, surprisingly enough, but I'll get to that one shortly. First off, though, to celebrate the release of Modern Horizons, what I decided to do is do a deck experiment where essentially I take a popular modern archetype and try to do the closest thing that I can do in Standard. Now, one of the more popular deck archetypes currently in Modern is, of course, the Humans deck. And as you can probably tell, I decided to actually go into MTG Arena and try to make basically a standard variation of the deck. Now, for this one, it's a free color human deck. It's Mardu, so red, black, and white. So, pretty much the list goes as following: we play a playset of Hero Precinct 1. We have a couple of gold spells in our deck, which then benefit from this, which makes more human tokens, which is very good. We also decide to do a free of and free of the Knight of Grace and Knight of Malice. Both humans as well, and both synergize with each other. Great early game. The first strike does help a lot if you want to get into on the aggressive. We put in Priesthood and Forgotten Gods in there as kind of like a semi-aristocratic tool if we need to use it as both a card draw engine and ramp engine. We also put in Fireblade Artist, which mostly is just very good because we're kind of doing a very aristocratic nature to this. Plus, it's also just a good aggressive early unit. We thrown in one Gideon Blackblade because, well, technically it is a human planeswalker. Plus, it's also just nice and synergizes with our humans, giving it the ability to give extra buffs to our other creatures and such, which is very nice. Mint to the Meek, use as a semi-card draw engine if we have to, plus also just a decent aggressive unit when it has to be. I always get the name wrong. Militia Bugler, same thing, nice aggressive unit, but also helps us draw into our deck and draw more units to play. Isrith the Awakener. This one's basically used to help reanimate our humans from the graveyard that die and bring them back, which is very nifty. Jude of the Scourge Thiever, pretty much a nice little human lord that also has the Death Trigger benefit ability to help us be on more of the aggressive. Tajik, Legion's Ed, great aggressive unit, the Mentor Trigger is very nice. I put in one of Massacre Girl just in case if we do need a board wipe. Now, it's not always necessary, but sometimes even the decency of a 4-4 with Menace with a semi-board wipe is nice. Also, I put in the card draw engine, such as Vanquisher's Banner. Great one for tribal decks, allows us to buff our units up, and allows us to, when we ever going to cast a creature, keyword a lot, it allows us to draw a card, which is nice. I also put in one of a exclusive arena card, which is Inspiring Commander. 4 white, 1 for a human soldier. Whenever another creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life and draw a card. As you can tell, we have a bunch of 2/2s and creatures less than 2, so this, when it's out, can be used as a semi-card draw engine / life gain engine. I also put Lena Selfless Champion as a test card. Mostly it's just decent because it creates a couple of good soldier tokens, as well can be used to help protect our board. I also throw in the Immortal Sun, which is kind of a nombo with getting Blackbraid per se, but it's also a nice boost, makes our spells a lot more cheaper, and allows us to draw extra cards. The land base, I put 1 Plains, 1 Swamp, 1 Mountain, 4 Godless Shrine, 2 Isolated Chapel, 4 Blood Crypt, 1 Dragon Skull Summit, 2 Clifftop Retreat, 4 Sacred Foundry, and of course, since it's a tribal deck, we're playing 4 of Unclaimed Territory, since we're pretty much just going to name Human, and just get the job done. So, as you can tell from the deck, the overall main part of this deck is we're a very aggro-centric human deck. So, can this standard variation of this popular modern deck archetype work? Is it as popular as the modern archetype? No. But can it at least be decent on Arena Standard? That we're going to find out. So, we're going to go into play. Let us try a little bit of Mardu standard humans, shall we? Okay, we're gonna go against our opponent, which is Norwina. Norwinia? I having a hard time pronouncing that. Okay, so we have a decent land base. We have a good 2-drop, free drops. Yeah, we keep. We'll see what our opponent's playing. Our opponent's deciding whether or not to keep their hand, I'm guessing. It will be interesting. Also, I decided to put the core 2020 sleeves on there. Made the pre-order, just get that out of the way, which was pretty nifty. That way I can just have quick access to the cards and also get some early game brewing done. So, once the new set comes out, which is weirdly enough in a few weeks, that is just weird to think. And it's weird to think that spoiler season is starting, as of this recording, tomorrow, so... Well, it'll be interesting to see how that goes about. Either our opponent kind of lagged out, or they are being very... They might be just getting a drink. It sometimes happens. But anyway, so our game plan is we're going to play Hero Priest in 1 on turn 2, probably play Gideon Blackbraid on turn 3, give our creature indestructible. Our opponent decides to keep their hand, so we're going to play that. There's also an argument if they're more aggressive to probably play Marisha Bugler out, so then play Gideon Blackbraid, or just see what we dig with the Bugler. We'll see. So it looks like they're potentially playing Azoria shenanigans. So we're going to play the Swamp. We're going to play our Hero Priest in 1. And our plans changed a little bit. We're probably going to play Tajik so we can go and aggro, put a counter on this using the Mentor trigger. So we shall see. And it looks like they're doing their own Hero Priest in 1 shenanigans. So we're going to play this. We're going to create a human token, go on the aggressive. We put a counter on Hero, lucky enough. I don't know if they will trade. They might trade with the Tajik, potentially. We'll see. The opponent's thinking. The opponent let the damage went through. So, it looks like they're probably just playing Azorius Hero, potentially. Yeah, there's a Deputy of Detention. They're probably going to take out the Tajik, I'm guessing? Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so we'll let this enter and tap. And we can either play the Bugler. I think I'm going to play the Gideon, though. We're going to plus this. Give this indestructible. That way we can swing in. The opponent's probably going to block the human token. Makes sense. And we can use our own human token to block if they decide to be aggressive to the Gideon. We'll block the 2/2. They'll take a point of damage. Boop. Okay, so we could play another human hero. I think the Bugler is good because it allows us to dig into our deck, so we're going to play Bugler. Plus it allows us to have an aggressive unit, and it fishes out an Absorb, which, yeah, now it's going to happen. So we're going to plus again. We're going to give this Vigilance now. That way we can still use it as a blocker. And we got the opponent at 10, which is nice. There's the Shalai, which is going to be a little annoying, but not the end of the world. But they are tapped out, so we got to keep that in consideration. I'm going to try Bugler again. Knight's pretty nice. We're not going to give this indestructible. Swing in. If we do get another... We have choices here. There's the Spark Double, which is going to do the double Shalai combo. So now everything has hexproof on the opponent's side, which is going to be a little bit annoying. I think it's safe to say to play both Knights at the moment. And just say, indestructible. The opponent's probably not going to kill the Gideon when they have the chance, or remove. Goodness is, we can protect the Knight of Malice, Danes to the Factor. Okay, they're going to gain a life and make another token, which is a little annoying. If we get one more land, we can get the Vanquisher's banner online, which would be pretty nifty. Okay, Gideon goes bye-bye. There's the other land we needed. We're going to put the Vanquisher's banner online, naming human, obviously. And, well, we go on the aggressive. That's the one thing about this deck. You can't really dirtle with this deck. You just have to go aggro, aggro, hit the face, hit the face, hit the face. Which makes this matchup a little bit tricky since they do have potential life gain opportunities. The best part, though, is with the aggressiveness of this, it does allow us to get back our Tajik, so nifty. Now the opponent needs like a board wipe. They got their board wipe. Still, we're alright because we got our Vanquisher's banner, so we're using it as a card draw engine. We're going to play our hero first. We're going to now play this. Oh, we don't have black. I did the thing where it's a little annoying when it does that, but we can actually save that for... Okay, we're going to get another one of those, so they know we have a Judith in hand. Well, let's see what the opponent does next. We did kill the Shalai, which is nifty, and they only have the Spark Double in hand, so they can only copy whatever they are going to cast. There could be a potential they have a second Shalai in hand, but on the bright side, we do have Judiths to... Essentially, okay, they play an Enforcer for a tap, and then there's the second Shalai, as we suspected. So, they tapped out, so honestly, what I'm going to do is play Hero Precinct 1 trigger and draw a trigger. Perfect. We're going to play the land, obviously naming human. We're then going to play Priest of the Forgotten Gods as another trigger, which can help us to essentially, potentially close out the game. So they're going to block there, which we don't mind because even though Hero does die, we still get the Judith trigger, which, since they lose their hexproof, they're going to be peened. Well, there we go again. They're going to be ping. They're going to be ping. They're going to ping. 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 And honestly, just a case of bada boop. Okay, I need to just start self-tapping this so that I can actually play Judith along with Mentor of the Meek. That's still kind of annoying that it does that. Maybe it's for the component supplies? Well, there's a Narset that they're going to probably use to dig for something. Do we care about Narset? Potentially. Well, we're going to name Human again. We don't really care. We're just going to go into the aggressive. We're at that point in the game where we just really just need to keep going on the aggressive, pretty much. The opponent's forced to block or as they die, so they're going to either, let's see, they probably have they have enough to flip as Kanta, which is a little annoying. But we went through 2 to 3 time wipes at the moment, so let's see what they're probably going to dig up something like Settle the Wreckage, so we know that they have that. They're going to leave that untapped. There's Mr. Annoying Teferi, which we suspected since they're playing Azorius. So, we know they have, unfortunately, that. And we know they have Settle the Wreckage. Honestly, we're just going to just pretty much interesting. Well, lucky enough, Dovin Vito does not matter in this case, since the only thing they can counter from our deck is either a Immortal Sun or... And there's the second Teferi. A third Teferi. Like I said, my opinion on Teferi is the following. Love the character. Really do not like the Planeswalker design, at the very least in this current iteration. We're going to play this. We know the Narset trigger is not going to work. Please don't have, like, a counterspell. They're trying to dig for it. And someone's trying to talk to me over Steam, which... And honestly... Wow! Oh, they accidentally tapped out! Whew. They forgot to not leave enough mana to... But wait, they untap... What the... Huh. I'll take it. Okay, that was a little bit interesting. So at least on our first match, we did pretty good. We'll try 1 or 2 more matches, depending on the length of it. If it's like another control-y matchup, we probably will only save this for 1 more, but I've been having fun with this so far. I don't know if I would say it's necessarily a competitive deck, but if you have the cards and you want to have some fun, I'm having fun with it, so... Okay. Nah, we're gonna mulligan this. They really want us to have Izrev, don't they? Well, we have an unclaimed. We'll give it a shot. We'll put that on the bottom. Hope we draw into something else. We'll let this enter and tap. We're going against a ramp of some sort. Oh boy, Simic Nexus. This is... Well, Simic, potentially Mass Manipulation. Oh boy, this is going to be tricky. The good news is that once we get enough mana, we do have the Massacre Girl to potentially remove components of the board, so... There we go. They have 3 mana up currently. So they don't have enough for any of their control magic at the moment. Oh, it's a Hidan's Climb list. Okay, I stand corrected. This was not the list I thought it was. Okay. Well, we don't really have a motive to attack because they have a 1/4, so... This must be like Simic counters, I'm guessing? That's what it feels like. Yeah, it looks like just like Simic counter shenanigans, it looks like. So they're going to dig in their deck for another land, which tells me they probably have another Grazer in hand, potentially. Well, we're going to pay. We're going to play this. Naming human. We still can't attack in. But we have at least enough to at least draw into stuff. Okay. So it is a Wilderness Wreck deck of sorts. Okay. Well. Here's human again. We'll decline on the trigger since nothing's in the graveyard. Well, on the bright side, we know that this isn't a Nexus of Fate. Oh. Oh. It's... Did they have enough to actually... I can't even be mad. That's actually pretty funny. Okay, I gotta keep that deck in the back of my brain. Wilderness Wreck on Vitu-Ghazi trigger. With also Temple. Okay, I gotta keep that in the back of my brain. That was actually pretty fun. That was a funny way to lose, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, that saves us at least one more... At least enough time for one more match, so... 1 out of 1, let's see if this is a tiebreaker. Yeah. It's a keep. We have a lot of lands, but we have a lot of playables, so... All I have to do is just let this enter and tap at the moment. We'll let it enter and tap. This looks like potentially discard. No, looks like grits. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna play this out first. See if I can initiate a trade, because this looks like just... I had a feeling this is going to be... Oh, boy. So this looks like the case of an aggressive deck where they're going to use this to more or less make our lives a little annoying. We're going to play them into the Meek. That's the one con when you go into a full creature tribal deck, is when you don't count for removal. You will sometimes have the scenarios where you go against very problematic matchups, such as the following, so... I think I will play the hero, that way we can spend 2 to draw a card. Well, spend 1. Wow, I always forget how good this card is. If we initiate... No, we're not going to initiate the trade at the moment. Pretty much our best bet here is top decking a Judith. That way, when they try to essentially go on the aggressive... Ow. Okay. That would have been very useful very early. But, can't cry over soggy cereal, as a variation the saying goes. So then we're going to play that. We're going to search for another knight. And the good news is we at least have a potential blocker, presuming they don't have a board wipe. Which the fact that they said good game does indicate. Seriously? Okay, so yeah, we're going to put that. We're going to put that. We're going to block on that because we have a hunch of their, quote-unquote, this trigger. We're still probably dead because what they have here then is they can deal a few bits of damage to us. Ow. Ow. I'll say one thing about this meta. It is kind of actually pretty healthy at the moment because there are just some times where, yeah, you go against the annoying kind of like Esper and Mono Red shenanigans, but there is, at least in Arena, a lot of times where you see some pretty unique decks that can do pretty well, so I would say meta, at least at the moment, is relatively healthy. And we'll try one more now, since it seems like our games, we went against some really, really quick aggro. So, okay, I'll keep this. If we draw into a black, we can play Judith, but we do have Giddy on turn 3, so that's alright. Well, there's the black source if we want to play Judith on turn 3, so there's our swamp, so all we have to do... They're playing potential Simic shenanigans. Maybe Sultai? Yeah, it looks like Sultai, so I'm going to guess a cast down. Nah, Fodder Erasure. I'm going to guess they're going to hate out the Judith, but there is a potential they hate out the Gideon as well. Depends on what they find more problematic. They decide to hate out the Gideon, interestingly enough. Which tells me they must either have a board wipe or a way to answer our Judith shenanigans. Probably a Cry of the Carnarium, if I have to make the guess, which is probably this deck's main weakness. Anybody that runs Cry, then we're pretty much in trouble. Well, we'll see if they run the Cry. We'll see. Four colors? Okay, they're probably going to hit the Judith, I'm going to guess. Maybe the hero? I'm not sure. Yeah, I figured it was going to be Judith. So, potentially a 4-color deck? Huh. We'll let this enter and tap. We're going to play Mentor the Meek. I mean, we're aggro, so... Best part is if they play something scary, we could just Massacre Girdle to try to remove it. In theory. But so far, we're at the good of the board presence, so we'll see what our opponent plays. They do know we have the Massacre Girdle and the Plains in hand, so we got to keep that in mind. So they're playing 4-color something? I would be curious to see if this is like 5-color something. Nah, looks like 4 colors, so... There's the Frasca. They're going to use that to destroy... Interesting enough, our hero, which... Yeah, fair enough. We're going to name Human. Yeah. They are going to get the life gain from this, but it's better that we do take care of the Vraska now before later. And we don't really have an incentive to play Massacre Girls, so we don't. So the 4 colors shenanigans. Okay, there's Teferi. Probably bouncing the Mentor if I have to make a guess. Makes sense. Okay. They don't have that much counter magic up. So we're going to try casting Isrith. Then Mentor. and just hit the Teferi so that we don't have to deal with it. They do gain the life, unfortunately. This does feel like a Command the Dreadhorde deck. No Tamiyo. Interesting. Okay, so let's see what they're trying to find. Yeah, there's the command, so... So yeah, we kind of had a hunch that was their deck archetype, so... Best thing we're going to do here is we're going to swing like this. Yeah, we know we get hit, but we're going to take the action. We're going to save 3 mana. That allows us to return our Judith, which then gets us the additional attack boost. Then we can just do the card draw engine, which is nice. That allows us to take out the Tamiyo. And we can just play the Godless Shrine. Play the Fireblade Artist, which, due to the attack boost, does not trigger Mentor the Meek. So now we're going to see... Well, there's another Tamiyo. They're going to try to find command, I'm going to guess. They find both copies. So, lucky enough, they don't have enough mana to quote-unquote trigger it. Let's take a look at what their graveyard looks like at the moment. Nah. We're going to look at something real quick. We're going to look at their graveyard. They don't really have that much life gain shenanigans. So, I think the best play here is just go straight. Because then we're going to take the action. We're going to name 2. Pay to 2. Bring back hero. Mostly because then, at the very least, we will make their hero a little bit, their Command the Dreadhorde a little compromising at the very least. So we're going to do that. And honestly, then we're going to play our little trick up our sleeve, which is Massacre Girl. Because, sure, it kills all of our stuff, but there's a lot of Judith triggers. A lot of Judith triggers. Like, not too many, but enough of it to, at the very least, make it where playing Command the Dreadhorde is a little bit compromising, one could say. They're going to return Mr. Teferi to gain a life. Bounce our unit to our hand. I'm going to make a guess. Yep, the guess was granted. There's the Jade Light Ranger. Oh boy. Well, do we have any way to make where this trigger goes off and kill? Do we want it to be killed, though? Probably not. So I think the best play here is to play this, play the Priest, which allows us to pay a mana to draw a card. That's going to come in handy. Question is, are they going to try to command the Dreadhorde and see if they get enough life gain to quote-unquote recuperate their costs? No, looks like they're just going to play that. And now they're doing the math. And look like they're just only going to do that just to gain a little bit of life. Fair enough. And then now we play our little trick up our sleeve, which is... Yeah, we just gotta play Immortal Sun and hope they don't have counter magic. That way, then it does, for the most part, completely negate their deck. So the opponent's thinking. But yeah, this was a pretty good top deck. This was... Our opponent's either being very indecisive or trying to decide... Does that deck have a 1-drop? Not that I'm aware of. It's either that, or they probably thought they passed the turn, but didn't on accident. It happens. Anyway, we're just now waiting. Come on. It's either that or the opponent salted out, which that could be also a possibility. It could be a variety of things. Oh, the opponent must have realized that the opponent accidentally set up a Massacre Girl trigger. Which, is that relevant unless we have Judith on the field? Not that I'm aware of. And I guess the opponent thought scooped. Okay. Well, 2 and 2. Not bad. Anyway, and we get our pack, which is nice. I guess I'll open our pack real quick, because why not? And we get single combat. Nifty. And, of course, I pre-order, but that's not what we're looking at. Anyway, this is the deck, Standard Humans. I'll provide a deck list in the caption below. I hope you all have a lovely night. This is LevDev, signing out.